Should you price your home high in order to leave room for negotiation? I'll tell you why right after this. A really common idea that sellers have is that they want to price their home higher than what they're willing to accept in order to leave room for negotiation. In most cases, this is a really bad idea, and here's why. When buyers are out in the marketplace, quickly they understand and realize what is market value. After a buyer has seen a couple homes, especially if they're working with a good real estate agent, explaining the marketplace to them, they can go into a home and very quickly assess if it's worth what the seller's asking. Also, that same buyer is going to look at all of the sales data in your neighborhood and see how it compares. So if all homes in your neighborhood have sold for $500,000, but you're asking $600,000, they're going to see a difference there and wonder what the heck's going on. And typically in that scenario, that might be too big of a threshold for them to want to make an offer. Just like you would if you were a buyer, buyers out there in the marketplace don't want to pay over market value. So the number one recommendation I have for sellers is to either price right at market value, so you're asking what your home is actually worth. Or if you know that the market is pretty frothy and overheated and there's a lot of demand, and you might get multiple offers on your home, even pricing slightly under market value, knowing that there's enough demand that will drive that price up, might actually drive that price up over what market value would otherwise be considered. Now, real estate agents have this kind of funny cliche that a home is only worth what a buyer's willing to pay for it. And so ultimately, if we can get enough demand to go over what we think someone might pay for it, that's a really good thing. And for that buyer that paid that amount, it might actually be worth it to them. So hopefully you found this helpful. If you're in a scenario where you're trying to decide what to price your home at, I strongly suggest pricing at market value or just under, and you'll have a much better result. The longer a home sits on the market, the less it ultimately sells for. And that is the biggest danger of overpricing, is your home just sits too long because nobody wants it and they think you're asking too much. So for more helpful tips about selling and buying, please subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you on future videos. And if you have a story about overpricing or underpricing and what result you have, we'd love to see that in the comments below. I'll jump in and talk about my stories too. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.